you're mad that he's a black man who makes good money and not in any drama, a man of God, and he takes care of his family, and he also steps in and be a man to his woman's child, which now is his child. He is a simp for being a man. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Shout out to all my new subscribers. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers. So I just want to shout out to all my new subscribers and shout out to all my old subscribers that has been running with me since day one. So shout out to you guys. But what I want to talk about is a very interesting subject. So I made a comment on the Shade Room, which got about 5,000 likes on it. And basically, I'll read you my comment. It was about the Russell Wilson and Ciara sharing their prayer for each other, right? And so I noticed that so many women are, you know, asking for the prayer, and Thier really hasn't been kind of like vocal with it. And so then Russell stepped in as they were talking to Lala, and Russell stepped in and was like, so funny how everybody's asking for Ciara's prayer and not asking for what I pray for. You know, nobody's asking me what I pray for. And that's very interesting because I was just like, wow, like, a lot of men aren't asking what Russell prayed for. A lot of men are not understanding what he prayed for, because a lot of young and immature guys are like, well, who wants to pray for another man's baby moms? And I saw this comment like over and over and over again. It was pretty disgusting, to say the least. These were young dudes who seemed like they liked a girl and she went off and got pregnant by somebody else, and they have mommy issues and they're taking it out on other women. So they started to comment on my comment. So my comment to that was, that's a good observation. None of these dudes asking him what was his prayer, but all the women are begging for the prayer. Shows you where our focus is on too much as women, that we're trying so hard. Our life goal is to, you know, find a good man, so we can have kids. A lot of women tend to settle so they can have the babies and they can have, you know, they won't be looked at in society as a failure because of not having a relationship, which I totally against, because no matter if you do find that guy and you settle with him, that doesn't mean that everything is set and secure. Like, things can happen, a death can happen, God forbid, you know, or divorce can happen, because divorce rate is nearly over 50% in America. And it just shows you, like, people tend to settle more so than they think they do. So I would rather not be married at all than be married and then go through a failed relationship at 50. Not trying to put that against anybody, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people at 50 can say, like, I wish I would have did things a little differently. 60 years old, you know, here I am at 40 years old getting a divorce with 5 kids with this person. So how do I try to avoid that? And that's not by settling. So this one guy, which I screenshotted him, and he had about a good 5 likes on this little stupid comment, but it was like, women never give their prime years and first kids to men like Russell Wilson. Men like Russell are stepdaddy material. The men, women love to date, then become single moms. So let me address that, because I saw a lot of men out here talking about, well, she really, a lot of men look at Russell as a simp. Okay, if you're a guy, just go ahead and just pay attention to what I have to say instead of just wanting to respond and rebuke everything that I'm saying. So, is he a simp? No. What is a simp? And why would he care that you, a lame-o, would think that he's a simp? He makes millions of dollars. He's highly talented, and he did things that you probably won't never do in life. So for all those guys out there talking all that hot mess about Russell Wilson is a simp because he took in Ciara and playing stepdad, so you're mad that he's a black man who makes good money and not in any drama, a man of God, and he takes care of his family, and he also steps in and be a man to his woman's child, which now is his child. he is a simp for being a man, what does that say about our black men in the community? Really? And not all black men. I'm just saying, what does that really say about the mindset that a lot of black men have? That being a man, and y'all respect Future, y'all are saying like, oh, women and Future's that guy. Like, y'all really looking up to Future. Like, I can't even like fathom how many like messed up mindset these dudes sounds like. They're lame, they're not getting chosen, and the women that they did like chose somebody else and got pregnant, and probably that relationship failed, and now they're sitting back laughing at that person when you're still single and mad and paying attention to what the hell she has going on in her life. Like, who's more pathetic here? She moved on with her life and is living her life the best way she can, and you're still focused on her life failing, and you're laughing at that as that's karma for you. Like, are you even happy with yourself? Like, seriously. And then y'all want to bash single mothers, but then don't want to talk about the guys out here planting their seed left and right. Like, are you ridiculous? Are you stupid? Like, there's no good that comes to somebody who laughs at other people's pain, and on top of that, you're lame yourself. So I just would like to say that to the people and the guys out there that's talking all that hot stuff, that come on my page mad, thinking that they're the prize. Like, if you really thought that you're a prize, then you would know that you don't have to treat women like crap, and you would know that I'm not talking about you. If you are a prize, if you are a good man out there doing right by women, you know that I'm not talking about you. Real men know what I'm talking about when I say, you know, fall back when the guy does this. This is not a game to play with good men, because you don't need to fall back if the man is on his P's and Q's and doing what he needs to do. Period. Okay? So let me get to this. Russell Simmons, why a lot of men want to think, why do women waste their prime years on a Future? Yes, while you're young, you don't really waste your prime years. That is a lie. Like, there's so many women who go for a Russell. Russell has been married before. So there's women out there who do settle down and marry with these type of men. Russell also admitted that he was out there. He was out there before he met Ciara, but he knew what he wanted. So ladies, if you're talking to a guy and he's just like, man, I just don't know what I want, and you've been with him for a good 5 to 7 years, and it's no financial thing, and y'all are not young, and you're over the age of 25 and he's not talking about marriage with you, then just know that a lot of men are not asking for this Russell Simmons prayer because they do know what they want, and they don't really tend to like to settle. Some men kind of do settle because the woman that they really want, they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for a woman that's going to be beneficial for me, that's gonna take care of the home, that's gonna take care of the kids, that's gonna be a good mom. Like, I'll go for a woman like her. But the woman that he really loves, like, she doesn't want him. So guys go for the next best thing. Now, there are guys out there that tend to settle with women. I know some that I'm friends with who settle with a woman who is not that good for him, and I have expressed my thought about that, and he decided to go ahead and still be with her. Be my guest. Okay, cool. But don't say it like men don't settle. Men know what they want, but men can also settle. But women are so, like, we waste our time with a lot of these men, and wasting, yes, I do agree that sometimes we do waste our prime. Like, I know people who are with a guy who thinks that eventually when he's not in his prime anymore, he's gonna choose her. But you also have to think, you are no longer going to be in your prime anymore. So he's probably gonna go get a woman who actually is about something, who actually has self-esteem, self-respect, don't play no games with him. And while he's leveling up mentally, you're still stuck in the same place. You're not moving up mentally. He's not gonna choose you, sis. And if he does, he's still gonna do the same crap that he was doing to you before. Period. So what does that say? Men don't ask for the prayer because they feel like, you know, I know what I want. I know what I want. And I think it's so important for women to write down. Ciara, the way she was able to find a Russell is that she wrote it down, she prayed for it, and she believed that it was going to happen. She believed that she was going to find love again. She knew that there were things about herself that she had to fix. A lot of men want to call out women for not having accountability. I think the one thing that they're missing is that Ciara did take accountability, that she did have toxic ways and toxic mindset to attract a toxic person like Future. So that is why she did a lot of rethinking, self-love journey, and reevaluating what she really wants in a man. That's why she went for a Russell Simmons, because she was no longer toxic. Okay? Yes, a lot of women are toxic, and you know, sometimes it has to do with, most of the time it has to do with, you know, childhood and what they've been through in life and everything like that plays a part. The way the father was in their life, the mother was in their life, that all those things play a part into what type of woman she has become and how she has to unlearn the toxic behaviors that she's seen growing up and then relearn things that she wants for herself and to not accept. I do not accept less. Even if it hurts me, I will walk away from something. I've walked away from people that I'm like, I did not want to walk away from, but I knew what I wanted and that was not him. He was not it. And I knew how I wanted to be treated. And if you're not treating me as such, I'm not missing out. And you're not missing out, sis. When you walk away, don't think for a second you're missing out because he's gonna do it for the next person. Maybe that next person, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're doing to keep that relationship going. Just know that what's for you is for you. You cannot look at other people in their relationships and say, I want that, because you don't know if that's what you want. Maybe something that he does is something Ciara wants, but something that another guy does is what I want. You know, and no, a future is not what I want. But I like how men like to bash single moms for having 1 or 2 kids, but Future out here has 17,000 children and nobody wants to hold him accountable for that. It's pretty damn ridiculous. And it just shows you that these young bird dudes, yes, the birds are dudes out here sitting here praising a Future, thinking that he's winning. He's not winning. That young girl is playing the hell out of him. And he's going to find himself a very lonely man in the future with a whole bunch of children who resent him. Okay? He's going to have a whole bunch of children that he planted around this world that hate his guts or dysfunctional because of him and blame him for their dysfunction and grow up to hate men or treat women a certain way because of his dysfunction and creating more broken families. He is nothing but creating curses in this life. That is nothing to praise for. That's nothing to win for. And mind you, Russell Wilson is a very, very, very talented man. Don't get it twisted. He's talented, he makes a lot of money, and he's a man of God. That is what women are looking for. When women wake up and say, man, you know what? I'm done dealing with the Futures because I don't want to be toxic anymore. They wake up and want a Russell. So good men do win at the end. They get a good woman at the end. They get a good woman who's going to take care of them. They may not see it now because they're like, man, why can't I get a baddie like that? When she's toxic, dude, if she was to come in your life, she's going to mess you up because she's very toxic. Just like when a man comes into your life and he thinks he knows what he wants, but then he starts playing games because he realized he's not ready yet to settle, that is going to be toxic to you. Sorry about that, my camera died. So basically what I'm all trying to sum up is that while we are in our 20s, while we are in our primes, we don't waste it on, you know, some people say marriage. We don't settle down. We test the waters. We learn things about ourselves. And I think that is okay. Now, there are other people who are in their prime who know exactly what they want. And it takes them a while to find it, but they eventually do. For those guys that are like, oh, well, women waste their time. I don't want to date a woman with a child. Okay, don't date a woman with a child. Just as much as a woman is not obligated to date a man with a child. I think it's okay to step out of your boundaries, but if that is not something that's for you, which I don't recommend like a young woman or a very young guy to date people who are older with kids because they have a different mentality and mindset than you. But if you match their level of maturity, then go for it. But to say the least, men like Russell win because they got the woman, they got a great family, they're creating more kids, and they're very successful. Ciara has created, the difference is Ciara is not just out here one of Future's baby moms. Like, she's successful. She was so much more than a baby mother. You know, she has a prominent career. She's very successful. She's very beautiful. She's very talented in everything that she does, and she does it very well. She's a feminine woman. And I have a video talking about how to be a feminine woman. She's very feminine. She's not too masculine where she needs to step up and rule over Russell. Russell's not a simp because he's not a doormat. Like, it may seem like, oh, because he's stepping in and doing all the things that women love to do, he's a simp. No, what it sounds like is that a lot of you men are jealous. Women, don't ever for a second be fooled by these men saying, oh, men know what they want, they have all these options, because there's a lot of men out there that wanted a woman, the woman did not want them back. And I know a guy where a woman divorced him because she did not want to be with him, and he was not the person that's for her. As she got older, after she had kids with him, she's just like, you know what, this is not for me, I am very unhappy and I'm tired of settling at this point. And she divorced him. Now, does that hurt? Yes, it hurts, but he knew deep down inside they weren't for each other either. So don't just be sitting here thinking that men don't make mistakes either, or waste their years and have kids with people that they know that they didn't want to be with. You know, I think it's vice versa, and it's a lot of shaming to shame women for having kids out of wedlock when men are not shamed in the same way. Like, why are women always bashed? Why? But you say we're not the prize, but then you look at us as we're supposed to carry ourselves as a higher standard because we're a woman. Which one is it, dummies? Like, I'm sorry to say dummies, but it's just like these comments are just outrageous of these men and how they think. And it's very insulting to call these dudes men at this point, because they're pretty much not. I've never had a problem. And ladies, don't think for a second because you have a kid you won't be able to find somebody great, or you have to settle. If settling for a millionaire and settling for somebody who's very talented is like a Russell Wilson is settling, sign me up, because I will want to settle with that for sure. Sign me up. Because me being with a Future is settling, okay? Me being with a Russell is winning. And that's the point that you guys can't swallow, okay? And just because you have a kid doesn't mean that there are men out there who don't. My kid has never been a problem in the dating world. And I can make another video on that, on how to date, being a mom, being a parent, but I've never had an issue with my kid. If anything, I more so had an issue with somebody where I had to cut them off because I didn't really see them fit in my life. I'm still young, I'm still in my 20s, like I'm still in my prominent years. I'm still thriving. I have a thriving career, like, and that's what I'm focused on. And then when I am ready to sit down and say, this is what I want, that is what I want. But right now, I am enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the dates. I'm enjoying being spoiled. I'm enjoying men in my life that are nice to me, that cover me, are friends to me. Right now, am I ready to settle? No, I'm not ready to settle right now. I think that's totally fine and okay to have a moment, because I still feel like there are things about myself I personally want to work on before I settle down and get married. Now, if God has something different for me and said, no, I'm not actually going to introduce this person to you, then I'm all open for it. I think one of the best ways a lot of women who say that they end up getting married and finding the one is that they weren't looking for that person. They were focused on themselves. And that is what I want to do. I want to focus on myself, but not to the point where I cut off good people in my life or pass up an opportunity because I'm so focused. I'm just more so focused on knowing what I want and loving myself way more than I have in the past, and making sure that other women finally get to this point of journey that I am on as well. I think there's levels of self-love. And I think I've reached a very good level, but I still have a lot of work to do, just like all of us have a lot of work to do, so don't feel bad. Just know that being with a Russell Wilson is not a loss, like, at all. Women need to understand that, yes, everybody's toxic, because we didn't come from very healthy homes, especially those in the minority community. We didn't come from very healthy homes, and we have a lot of generational curses. And how do we stop that? Just because you have a kid doesn't mean that you're not going to find the right one. And I think that that's why a lot of men are mad, because they're so used to women being hung up on their baby's father and not finding a man like a Russell Wilson, when she is basically the face of, okay, I made a mistake by being with somebody and trying to turn this man into something that he's not. And, I had a kid with this person. Now I'm not going to let his antics or his ways disturb me. I'm going to focus on myself and become the woman that I want to be. So a man like Russell Wilson found a woman that he wants to be, and a woman of God that he said he wanted a woman that's nurturing. He knows he wants a woman that can hold it down. If he ever got sick, he wouldn't have to worry about his kids not being taken care of, because Ciara, like I said, she has her own thing. She's a boss. She's a boss woman, but she's also feminine, so she's not over-masculating her man. You know, she takes care of her man, and he knows that if something ever happened to him, he will be okay leaving his children in her hands, and know that their children will be raised to be amazing people in this world. Future, on the other hand, that's a whole nother list of problems. So yeah, she is the face of recovering from a toxic relationship, and a lot of these losers, these hood boogers, are mad because they're like, nah, we want to keep y'all down, we want to keep women down. Women are not having that anymore. Y'all men are done walking all over us. We've had it. We're done. We're gaining our self-esteem. We're no longer going to settle for less anymore, and we gotta quit because we can't be wasting our prime years too long. And sincerely, Ciara met him while she was still in her prime, honestly. She wasn't like this 50-year-old, 60-year-old woman that was trying to get back out there. No, she was still in her prime very well at the age of, I think she's like around her 30s. So yeah, so okay, what do you guys think about this? Do y'all think that Russell Wilson is and Ciara's relationship is a example of recovering from toxic relationships? How do you feel about men who are bashing single moms and think of Russell Wilson as a simp, which I wouldn't even call them men at this point? They're like little boys in mindset, and they're gonna find themselves a very long, lonely road in the future, because I bet most of those men that were commenting were probably single and failed relationships or hating on the next woman because the woman that they had feelings for moved on with somebody else. So comment below, what do you think about the stereotypes and basically the bias of it all with women having children compared to men having children? And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Go ahead, subscribe and like my video and share it, and just comment below so we can get this discussion going, because I love when you guys comment, so it keeps me very entertained, and I hope you guys are all well while you're quarantining. So thank you so much, and I look forward to more videos in the future. Bye.